I have very fond memories of Ozone. Putting it on the master in 2012, 2014 to get inspired and to go deaf faster. Big room producers trying to shout as many tracks as possible. Put your hands up, jump up and down like an astronaut. So you can only imagine how excited I was when iZotope reached out and hooked it up with Ozone 11. So if you see me greasing the pole, that might have something to do with it. You guys know I'm as honest as can be. Ozone 11 is a mastering suite, but there's one thing these mastering plugins will never be able to give you, and that is the ability to give you a second opinion. Mastering engineer that's bald with all his analog gear, getting excited about sticking your track in and out of his gear, adding his taste to it like that's one thing these plugins will never be able to give you. However, it doesn't mean you shouldn't use them to do masters for yourself. Step 1, limit the mix. Usually I compress first, but we're going to listen to iZotope. Okay, so we're going to use the maximizer, which is the limiter. I'm going to go with the IRC4 Modern, and we just want to increase the gain till we're getting 2 to 3 dB of attenuation or gain reduction, which will appear here. Okay. All right, they do say to turn on true peak limiting. This allows you to get the output level right up to 0.1 dBFS. Okay, so I guess we'll add the true peak. Some people say it doesn't matter. Some people say they do. I'll put the output level to 0.01 dB, and we are done with the limiting phase. Make level corrections with master rebalance if necessary. Okay. So iZotope products, I've always had them in my plugin list. The last Ozone I owned was Ozone 9, and the last Neutron I owned was Neutron 3. These products have taken more of a role in my bedroom studio as the guy in the back smoking weed giving suggestions. These outcomes I wouldn't have thought of doing, and if it sounds good and I notice it sounds good, then I try to see, okay, what could I have done extra because of the AI technology? I even called their AI technology Leonardo. If I want to increase the vocals, you can make it loud, dude. Okay, let's see the bass. Woo! Oh, that is very powerful in a sense. My question with this is, does it deteriorate the quality? Because obviously you must be doing some Fugazi magician kind of stuff. And like people say in life, you know, there's always a catch. If you find something that is too good to be true, there is always a catch. I don't feel like I need it, but just to fight the urge of something, we're going to put 0.5 dB vocal here. Add focus and clarity. Okay, so workflow, use the low-end focus and clarity modules in Ozone. So one of the new features of Ozone 11 is the clarity module. Now, a lot of people have their opinions on it. I've never used it, but I have read from comments on YouTube like, so iZotope ripped off Sound Theory Golfos and are charging us $299 for it? F this company. If it is like Golfos, I love Golfos. I use Golfos a lot. On the drop. It looks like we can also limit where it does it. So if I like my high frequencies, I can tell it no, not there. So a little bit more controlled, a little bit more flattened. It has a somewhat of a compression effect for sure as it starts to like clamp down on things that it considers too resonating or too harsh. From there, we're going to use the low-end focus, which I've heard great things about it. I have yet to use it in any of my tracks, but I have heard that it brings the low end to life. Dude, that kick is already punchy as it is. 19%. The gain there, I'm assuming it's to reduce the volume so that you don't increase the low end and the low end doesn't stay like fully up. You can decrease that. Now, if you have the low end focus and the clarity together, it's like Golfos on steroids, because with Golfos, you really have no control over like whether you want punchy, smooth, correct tone with EQ. Workflow tip, use a stabilizer module with Ozone. That's what I want. I'm going to use all the heavy technology stuff. I don't want to make any decisions, man, because the more decisions I make, the worse. I just want to be the guy saying, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Okay. Doing EDM. The stabilizer module is an intelligent and adaptive mastering EQ that listens to your audio and reacts in real time. Dynamically sculpt a professional quality tonal balance that's genre specific. Okay, so we're gonna lower the high. Use the impact module in Ozone add punch and glue compression. Impact module in Ozone is a multi-band. Okay, so this is the fancy one. It's the new stuff, bro. Like, I believe when I go up on the impact, I am gonna be expanding, aka compressing upwards. So the way to kind of think about it is the clap hits and you want it to hit more, then the clap hits and then it gets pushed up more. So I don't know if I can turn this into time because that's what I'm used to, but we'll say, okay, for this we would want like what, 30 milliseconds of attack or something, but we'll have it fast. I want the open hat to pop out a lot more. I'm assuming I'm gonna have to go up on this section here. So then I'm expanding up. Let's clamp down a bit on the mids. Make EQ moves to complement your reference. Okay, so I've had the reference here and we're just gonna get the drop part, and ideally, you know, that you want to get like a better track, but I don't have any in my catalog, so we're just gonna go with this one. And now we're gonna get rid of the reference, turn that off, and capture our own. And now we can apply a bit of a mount. We have a smooth, which again, we can smooth in the peaks, adding a bit of mid-high, some highs, some mids, and some mid-lows, and the low end seems to be fine. With the MP3, you can see that the highs here are kind of shifted down, and I kind of have it, so it's all. Finally, the last step is to use Ozone Imager. Setting up a couple of bands to hit learn, and now we have this. Always makes it sound better for some reason. Ever since I saw Lucas Prestoli video on Instagram. Okay, you know we have a mono low end, but let's just make it a little more. Now it does say to utilize tonal balance, which I think it's a separate plugin. So we're gonna use that to see how our frequencies are looking. And we never used an EQ throughout this whole process, and I'm scared to even add an EQ because this is a long chain as it is, but we're gonna add it just to kind of please tonal balance. Okay, so we're gonna have a span up. I just want to see how the frequencies look on that, and then I want to see my WLM plus to tell me how loud I am and loved. Of a noob in mastering, I really enjoyed utilizing Ozone. A lot of the cheat code stuff like the clarity, the stabilizer, the low end focus are super dope to have. Definitely, I can see myself reaching for them whenever I need help, whenever I can't figure something out in the song. The low end doesn't sound right, and I did everything I possibly could to make it sound right. Maybe the low end focus can be that last 5 to 10% that can help me get the low end to sound like my favorite producer. The match EQ is super dope and super clutch when used properly. And the Imager is still one of my favorite stereo image tools that I have at my disposal. And that's gonna be Isotope's Ozone 11. It's gonna act as a new flavor for me whenever I wanna reach for it. Now, if you guys wanna continue your knowledge further, considering watching this video where I talk about all the amazing production techniques I learned from the amazing producer Fisher. Happy producing.